Cimmerian Hat Whistle and the Boom Whistle Clown, y'all. Hey, Slow Boom Slang coming at you with another DMZ guide, guys. All right, this one is for the Redacted Faction mission. It is a Tier 5 mission, and it's a good one, man. This is unrestricted access. It's pretty easy. It's not too bad. So you're going to need a few things here that are required to do this. I'm going to show you where one is right here. It's an L2 security key. That is the first thing you are going to need, because you need to clear the L2 security restricted areas, and that was in that little desk right there. So this is in the actual the factory admin section where I found that one, and now I'm switching over into the server room section. This is actually the alpha cluster area. So another thing that you will need is a battery and jumper cables, an extra battery and jumper cables before you go into the Koshi complex, as that is where this mission is located. Before you exfil into that area in the new map, basically, in Al Mazrah, right, you are going to need those jumper cables and that extra battery, just because when you get in here, you'll find a set in whatever area you get into, right, in order to get into that section and open the area into the second section, but you'll need another set to get into the alpha cluster to plug into the wall before you hit the button, right? Now, this is the area I like to clear, and that's the next objective here. Well, there's two objectives, actually. The first objective is to clear 4 restricted zones in the Koshi complex, right? And that is that L2 security section, right? That L2 restricted access area, and that's why you need that key that I showed you. So this is the door that I like to go into, right? It is down at the end of the left side of the server room, or you can access it from the factory admin side. So you technically can get into the factory admin side, but you still do need an L2 access key to access that area. I like to access it through the server area like I just showed you, right? And I'll show you again where it is later on in the video as well. You do need to clear the whole section. You don't need to clear that area out there. You just need to clear this section where basically you have a lot of enemies behind that L2 restricted door, right? So you got to clear that 4 times. I just like to go to the same area and clear that same one over and over again, so I know what I'm doing, right? Also, a lot of enemies won't come back here. A lot of operators won't come back here. So that is kind of key, right? So you do need that L2 access card, like I said, and you're also going to need extra battery and jumper cables. Now, if you don't want to do that, you can have a factory admin key. You can go in through that section, and you won't need the jumper cables and the battery, but you are going to need those. Now, the other objective here, besides clearing the restricted zone in Koshi complex 4 times, is to extract the intel found on the soldiers in those restricted zones, and I will show you what that intel is. It's actually not very hard. They do drop it pretty frequently, so it's not that big a deal. Now, this first section of the video, first clip that I'm showing you here, after the L2 card, is actually going to show you, where that is and how it drops. But the bottom line here is you just need to make sure that you clear this area 4 times, right? And this is the first time that I did it, obviously. It's not that bad. I would recommend having a team with you, and we'll get into recommendations here in just a second, right? So a good team is pretty helpful here. But as you can see, I exfil and I get, the mission progress here for the first part of it, as well as extracting the intel that's found on the soldiers in the restricted area. It's Alcatala intel, and I'll show you what it is specifically. Other recommendations for this one: I recommend having a 3-plate specialty vest. So a comms vest or a med vest are my recommendations on that one. A comms vest probably is the most useful, so you know when operators are around you, and then a med vest would be great to get your team up, right? Also recommending that you have, obviously, those jumper cables and that extra battery. Now, I'm going to show you right here what that intel looks like for the second objective, right? Extracting the intel found on the soldiers in the restricted access area. I'll actually walk up to it here. I dropped it on the ground so you can see. It's the Alcatala command notes. That will count for you. I'm not sure if there's other intel that you can grab off them that counts, but I know this one counts, so this is how I recommend doing it, grabbing this off one of those dead soldiers, right? And now this is the door that you want to enter, in my opinion. There are other sections in that server area that you can clear. Shout out to my boy Humanoid Typhoon here, who helped me with that, right? But this is the door that I like to enter and clear because it's got its own private exfil after you clear it. So it's super easy to get out after you clear it with all of your stuff, right? And it's pretty awesome. Honestly, it's a fun area to get done. right? So, man, really appreciate everybody's support on this one. Basically, you just clear this bad boy, 4 times after you get that intel out, and then you're good to go, right? We did this pretty easily a number of times. I'm just going to show you here, how many enemies kind of fold in on you behind and what sections you need to clear. But it wasn't that hard a tier 5 mission, right? And you don't have to exfil except for that intel 1 time. So it's really not that bad. So I recommend, getting it done, with the team, but I did it a few times actually solo as well because it wasn't that hard, right? And definitely close those doors behind you after you get into this section of the L2 area in that alpha cluster section, right? And then you just go through, right? You clear all the enemies out here and you'll be good to go. It's seriously not a hard tier 5 mission. I was expecting a little bit more from this one because there are some pretty hard tier 5 missions in Redacted, like obviously the weapons case one that you have to get out twice. That one's a little bit rough. But anyhow, definitely not that bad a mission. And here we go. This is the end here. We dangle slap the Bengal DOS on these hoes. I just jumped on top and boom, 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 whack this dude with the KV broadside. I definitely recommend going with the KV broadside as well, guys. Mission complete. There you go. Unrestricted access. Done. Bing, bang, bottle sauce on the Doom hat. Really appreciate everybody, guys. Getting up to 3,000 subscribers. Love it, guys. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe. Have a good one. Boon Slang out.